Recording, yes, okay, and we're starting. Welcome to the check-in. This is gonna be a real situation. I'm eating, and I'm sick, and I'm recovering, and I'm making this up as I go along. I usually have bullet points and plan this out. This is soups on the fly. I thought about this 20 minutes before. So here we go. Hopefully I can spout some sort of inspirational messages to you all. But if there's anything I'm doing, I'm showing up for you. So thank you for joining, whoever's joining, and thank you for watching, whoever's watching later. Amazing. Glad to have you here. My eyelashes coming straight off. Amazing. Okay. So, it is week 4, right? Yes, we are in week 4. So we haven't completed week 4 yet, but after this week, we will be halfway through, which I can't even believe. It's flown by, and I can't believe we're halfway through this program. If this is your first program with me, thanks for joining, and I'm so glad to have you. And don't fret, because when we're finished, you can just start right back from the beginning, which a lot of people have done, or move on to a new program. I'm going to be having a lot of other groups. I will continue this group in another challenge tracker app and Facebook app. It'll just be called something else. A lot of people have done that and just jumped from the next group from this group to the next group, which starts the same program. Or if you wanted to start another program, you can join in one of those groups. Amazing. So, week 4, we're still in the building phase. We did not progress our weights this week. We progressed last week. So this week we're sticking with the same weights, and we're just crushing it, going through. And then there'll be just 2 more weeks of the build phase when we go right into the shred phase, which is killer and awesome. So, that's all I have to say about the workouts. Keep crushing it. Keep doing it. Keep signing in to your tracker app. Use me. Use your friends. Use the people, your peers in the tracker app. Listen, guys, I did a post today on Instagram. I don't know if some of you follow me on Instagram. Motivation is garbage, okay? Every day I have to, get myself up and do this. And it's not motivation, which I think is some sort of mysterious little lucky charm that people think happens, that they're just waiting for the motivation to hit them to get it going, and it's garbage. I think that motivation is crap. What I do believe in is determination. I believe in discipline. I believe in accountability. We're here for each other, and there are days that I don't want to do this, especially being sick. This is the time of year when you get sick. First off, take care of yourself. If you're feeling too ill to work out, do not push yourself. I took a few days off because I needed to. I listened to my body, but I got right back on. And today was my first day back, and I didn't want to do it. But you know what? I called a friend, and Jordan showed up, and we sized it out. We danced it out, man. So thanks to Jordan. The workout roulette is going on for the rest of the week. My coach is joining in. She's picking a day. I'm talking to a couple of other of you in the messaging app. I'm talking to you about which days that you want, so we're scheduling it in. So get your day in before someone steals your day. And if you don't have a day, but you have time to do one of the workouts that I post, jump in, guys. It's here for you to have fun and join the workout with us. Okay, so moving on from that, on to the book. You are badass. So let's see, we've completed week 3 of the book. So we have now read 7, 8, and 9. I know you are what am I? What are you doing here? And Loincloth Man. And for me, the one that spoke to me the most is I know you are, but what am I? So we're going to discuss that this week. This is a big one for me because when I started doing this is kind of what happens. First of all, a lot of your limiting beliefs come from what other people think. So you're thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm not fast enough, I can't do this, and all of this because of the limiting beliefs that you're feeling from other people. Not only that, when you start doing something, there will be people who are judging themselves and then therefore spewing it back on you. For instance, you're going to start working out and eating healthy and all this stuff, and your friend's going to be like, hey, let's go out tonight and let's get drunk and ridiculous and eat all the things. And that wasn't part of your plan. And then you're going to be like, I don't know, like I'm kind of on this thing, and they're going to try to talk you out of it. Not because they don't care about you, but because they're not doing it themselves, and they're like, and they're going to poison your mind about things, and this is not all about that, but it is part of that, like not letting other people get into your head, and not caring about what other people think of you, because that's another part of these limiting beliefs. So do not waste your precious time giving one single crap about what anybody else thinks of you. Imagine how liberating that would be. Other people's opinions motivate every move that we make in our teens and our 20s, and as we age, if we're moving in the right direction, our obsession with how we're perceived by others begins to trickle away. But very few of us are able to escape its pointless grasp completely. Meanwhile, the truth is the only questions you ever need to consider when making a decision about your life are as follows. 1. Is this something that I want to be, do, or have? 2. Is this going to take me in the direction I want to go, not should go? And number 3, is this going to screw someone over or anyone else in the process? So this is huge. There's another part of this that really like struck with me here. Yes, it is part of our survival instinct to care, get booted from the tribe, and you'll freeze to death or starve or be eaten by wolves. But because we have big brains and the ability to manifest anything we set our minds to, there is another version that's equally plausible. Blah, blah, blah. You could not only wind up doing what you love, surrounded by people who adore you and actually relate to, but you might one day realize that you can no longer remember the names of the people whose approval you so desperately thought that you would die without. Nobody who ever accomplished anything big or new or worth raising a celebratory fist in the air did it from their comfort zone. They risked ridicule and failure and sometimes even death. So, think about that. You're not, maybe you are in your life, but this specific thing that we're doing here is not like some insane, crazy thing. But there's probably someone who's holding you back in some way or judging you, or you think someone's judging you and they're really not. And the whole point of that statement was that it's like you have a choice to either agree with them and believe them and not get the thing done, or you have the choice of getting the thing done and then realizing what they thought didn't even matter, because really what mattered was what you thought about yourself and that you could accomplish this thing. And that's what we're trying to get down to. All that matters is what's true for you, and if you can stay connected to that without straying, you will be a mighty superhero. Everything else is just other people's perception of reality, and that's none of your business. So how can you truly not care what other people think and be your most powerful self? So these are the next 5 things that she writes down about how to get to that center. So number 1, ask yourself why. Why are you about to say or do something? Is it to be liked, to put someone down because you feel insecure, to get someone back because they made a fat joke about your mother, or is it coming from a place of strength and truth? Are you doing it because it'll be fun, because you feel called to do it, because it'll change someone else's life in a positive, martyr-free way? Pay attention to your motivations. Be honest. Practice coming from a place of integrity, and you will be victorious. So this is the thing I talked about in the very, very beginning of this program, with you guys is what your why is. Like, why are you here? And it can't be something like, well, I'm fat and everyone thinks I'm fat. I'm worried about what everyone thinks about me. I don't like the way I look because society tells me I should look a certain way. If those are your reasons, you're here for a wrong reason. Flat out. Like, you won't get there because you're moving on someone else's motivation, not your own. You have to go deep within yourself to ask yourself the real why for you, why you're here. Because if you don't get connected to that, you'll never be able to continue this. Because you can only work towards someone else's why for so long. You will work for your why forever because it will be connected to you and it will come from the place that will propel you to do it every day. So make sure that you know what your why is. And again, if you haven't written it down, like I asked you in the beginning, think about that today. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? And write it down. Say it to yourself every day and say it to yourself in that workout when it's the hardest move. That hardest move where you know it's like, shit, I don't want to do this one. And it's hard and I want to modify. Before you modify, say that to yourself, what your why is. And I guarantee you your body will move and do it. Okay, number 2, always do your best. There's no faster way to fall prey to outside input than when you're feeling insecure. And there's no better way to feel insecure than knowing you half-ass something or don't really believe in what you're doing. No matter what it is, raising your prices or raising your children, if you do the absolute best you possibly can and come from a place of integrity, then you can be proud of yourself and not give a damn what anyone else thinks. This is huge too, because no matter what you're doing, you have got to do your best and you have to always give your 100%. So I'm not saying that like if you skip a workout that you should berate yourself, or if you feel like you need to modify that you should feel bad about yourself. Obviously not. What I'm saying is give your best. Try it. You know, like you say you've been modifying most of the push-ups. Try to do half of them up off of your knees, you know? Try to up your weight a little bit. Excuse me. Try to not modify most of your moves. Like, you know, say to yourself, okay, I've got 3 rounds of this move. So maybe I try at least the first round not modifying, or the first 2, or maybe I modify the first 2 and the last one I really give it a go. Try your very best every single time. Because when you do, that's when you will feel connected to this and you'll know why you're doing this and you'll feel the why that you're doing this. And when you're doing your absolute best and you know that you've given it your all, then you know that you're doing it for the right reasons. You know that you've accomplished something, that you're doing something. It validates why you're even here. Because when you just half-ass it every day, you will fall off because you're like, I don't know what the point is. Why am I even doing this if I'm not going to do it fully? So have that talk with yourself every day and be like, I'm going to give it a go. I only have to do this for how many minutes a day and how many days a week? This is the time, okay? So this program is really geared towards you guys who are just starting this out, who have just started to start working out, who've just decided to make this change for yourself. This is such a great program for that because it's only 4 days a week and only 30 to 40 minutes a day. So all you have to say to yourself is, I'm just going to commit to that. It's just that. It's just these 30 to 40 minutes a day. I can do that. Of the 24 hours that I have in this day, only one of them do I have to work this hard and do this thing, and I will feel so accomplished. So always do your best. Number 3, trust in your intuition. Birds use their intuition to navigate their way to breeding grounds halfway around the world. Deer and rabbits and other prey-type beasts use their intuition to avoid running into predators. The average human, on the other hand, will take the advice from their drunk-before-noon neighbor across the street instead of doing what deep down we know is best. How many times have you thought in hindsight, I knew I should have listened to my gut? You have an incredible inner guidance tool that you can use whenever you need it. Tell everyone to shut up and go away. Get quiet. Give yourself room to feel and think. You have all the answers inside of you. Practice sharpening your intuition. Take the time to strengthen your connection to source energy and trust that you know what's best for you. The more centered and tuned in you are, the mightier you will be. And she says later that you can look up tips on how to do this in the book, but I'm going to give you a couple right here. Meditate, guys. I do it every morning when I wake up. Most times. There's a guided meditation app that I use. I use Calm. It's a guided meditation app. Or there's tons of them on YouTube that you can look up. Or literally just time yourself and just sit there for 2 minutes. Time yourself for 2 or 3 minutes and just focus on your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And when your mind starts to wander at will, don't get mad at yourself. Just like watch where it's going, accept it and release it, and then go back to the breath. And that is how you meditate. Do that a couple of times a day. Start out a couple of times a week. And once you're finished, start writing stuff down. That's what I do. That's the first thing I do in the day is I pick up a notepad and start writing down ideas, writing down things that I feel inside of me, because that's when I know I'm like most centered and I'm most connected to source energy and myself without anything else. Before I go on social media, before I talk to anyone during the day, I'm the most connected to me and how I feel and how my intuition is. And that's the best way to make a decision. If you have a decision in your life, you're like, I don't know how. I don't know what I'm doing. Sam, for instance, you are so terrible at making decisions. You're always like, this way or that way or this way or that way. You're always second guessing yourself. Sorry to call you out, but I know that you can take it. But that is the best way to make a decision, is in the morning when you wake up, do like a 2-minute meditation and then just start writing it down. Writing down all your ideas and get really, really, really real with yourself and honest with yourself. This is a hard one, to be super honest with you, but just do it. It's the best time of day to do it, and you will make the right decision because you will be the most in tune and the closest to you and your intuition. Number 4, find a temporary role model. I'm not going to read about this one because this obviously makes sense. Just find someone who inspires you. For me right now, and Sam will laugh at this, it's Rachel Hollis. I'm obsessed with her right now. She really speaks to me because I feel like I'm a lot like her, and a lot of the mistakes I've made in life she has made, and she's changed them, and she is at a further growth period than I am. So I look up to her, and I say to myself sometimes, what would Rachel Hollis do in this situation? Or what would Tony Robbins do in this situation? Or what would anyone that you know or trust that you know is further along than you are, what would they do? Use me for an example if you feel like I'm someone that inspires you. Or, you know, I wouldn't recommend using your partner or your best friend unless your best friend is someone who is like a personal development person or whatever, but don't use someone who's like super close to you, because you want someone who is going to push you to grow, someone who is going to make you feel uncomfortable, not someone who's going to make you stay where you are. And most of the people that we surround ourselves with in general life are the people who are like us. So pick someone who's going for it and ask yourself daily, like if you have questions about something, how would this person deal with this? Or like if you're struggling with your workout, you know, if you're struggling to work out, be like, what would Rachel Hollis do? Well, I can tell you what Rachel Hollis would do. She would 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 that shit and just fucking do it. So find yourself a role model. And then the last part of what that says is not caring what others think is a muscle that can take some time to build up. So use this trick while you're still getting strong, and before you know it, you'll be able to ditch the hero and start asking yourself, what would I do? So that's the goal. And last and not least, every single last, you know, bullet point of every chapter is in this, and the root of it all is love yourself. So no matter what anyone else thinks, love yourself. And I can't stress that enough. That was if you haven't watched last week's video, watch that. That is the source of it all. You have to find a way to really connect with you and love you. because without that, you're never going to get to any of this, because that is the start of all of this. And it's the hardest part, actually. And it seems so stupid because it seems like the simplest thing, but it is hard because all of the things that we've learned in life as kids, and all of the things we've heard from other people, and all the limiting beliefs that we've built up, they're all telling us to not trust ourselves and not believe in ourselves and to doubt ourselves. And we have to unlearn all of that. So, but use a lot of the tricks that I spouted last week about loving yourself. Meditate. That's another way. That's another great way to focus on loving you. There's a few guided meditations in that Calm app about centering yourself and loving yourself and turning that love inward. Guys, I think that's all I have for you. I felt like there was something else in that chapter that I missed. I know I didn't read it all, but there was like something in there that I can't remember, but it was like so good. Oh, it's like the last part of this. Okay, so really quick, we're running on 20 minutes. Okay, so we haven't hit the 30-minute mark, so I haven't like really talked your ear off this whole time. Really quick, important note about outside opinions. While you are unauthorized to base your self-worth on what other people think, it doesn't mean you should miss out on the opportunity to benefit from outside input altogether, especially input from those who know you well. There is such a thing as constructive criticism and constructive complimenting, but whether or not they are constructive depends on you. For example, if people have been telling you for years that you're a hothead, that they feel like they can't be open with you because the second you disagree with them, you blow up in their face, and ask yourself, is this true? And be honest. Can I use this information to better myself and the lives of others? If the answer is yes, commit to making the necessary changes. If the answer is honestly no, then let it go. The same goes for compliments, and this is a hard one for most people. If people constantly tell you that you're a good listener, ask yourself, is this compliment true for me? Can I use this information to better myself and the lives of others? Again, if the answer is yes, figure out how to capitalize on that. And if the answer is honestly no, then let it go. Sometimes it's easier for other people to see what we can't see ourselves. So if they can help us connect with our truths and live happier and more authentic lives, then it's worth taking the time to listen. It still ultimately comes down to what's true for you, however. So the more connected to your inner truth you are, the easier it will be to use outside opinions to your advantage, rather than let them rule your life. Okay, that wasn't what I was thinking of, but that's still really good advice. Anyways, guys, the last thing I wanted to talk about was our schedule for next week. So this week we're in week 4, and what is today? Today's the 10th. So our next check-in and live workout is going to be this Friday, because I am pretty much gone all next week, and I will not be back until Saturday, which will be our next check-in for that week. So this is going to be a short time that we aren't speaking to each other, and I'm happy about that. I'm glad to talk to you guys again on Friday with another live workout. So I'm going to go back to, I will announce what time, but for now it's still going to be 10:30 a.m., 11 a.m., but I might make it earlier. We'll see. Our 99 Reasons check-in next will be Friday the 14th. So I will see you guys then. Happy working out, happy Shakeology, and happy Monday. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'll talk to you on Friday. Bye.